Hey team, I don't know if you guys all got my email, but just to sum up what I think is important there, I wanted to let you know that while I've been sick, I've been trying to stay caught up, and that has meant that I'm going in and accounting for, like, you did this, you did that, but I'm not commenting as much. My personal goal is to start being able to comment again next week. Yesterday I was able to go in and a little bit this morning account for everyone having created at least one composition. I know many of you are working on a second one right now, but in the composition portfolio, I created a rubric, and in that rubric I will track at the end of each session how many compositions total you've completed. Remember, you're aiming for 2 to 3. How many words you've written. So I've only calculated what you wrote at the end of session 1. When you submit at the end of session 2, I'll add that up and account for all of that. And then I will be putting sources in there. So that's really the only thing that you don't have information about yet from me. Revisions, reviews, the plans, the copy, the meetings. I've been tracking all of those in Canvas, and now I've tracked the compositions and the words. I just need to do the sources. And all this leads me to something that I alluded to in the email. I wanted to talk to you guys about how the course is graded. If you look back at the syllabus, I say that in order to earn an A, a B, or a C, you have to do so many copies, so many plans, so many meetings, all these things. And you have to achieve all those things to earn the letter grade for that category. And this project that I'm a part of, this statewide project, I don't remember the count anymore, but when we started over a year ago, it was 80 to 90 English faculty members across the state. We agreed that we would not grade in traditional ways. And so a lot of what I'm doing is impacted by that experiment. And I've been playing with it. I've been prepping for it for a year. I've been playing with it since the start of last quarter. And one of the things that I didn't do last quarter that is a requirement is open up with you guys a negotiation. So have you ever had a class where something is graded in a certain way and you're like, wait a minute, that's not fair, but you don't really have a space to say, like, I don't think that's fair. That's sort of the spirit here, and I will just confess, as a faculty member, I don't exactly know how to open up that kind of negotiation because no one ever did that for me, and I haven't really seen what it looks like. So I'm grasping a little bit here, but I want to share with you what I have in mind for us for this quarter. I'm going to post this video in a discussion board, so if anybody does want to say, hey, I'd like to negotiate the terms of this grading agreement, you have a space to share that. But I'm going to kick things off. I feel like a lot of students in this course, a handful of students who are completing almost everything else, are not completing certain pieces of the puzzle that I wrote in the syllabus are required. And I'm going to perceive a large number of students not doing something as a request for negotiation. Like, we're not doing that and we have a reason, so we think we maybe shouldn't have to do that. And that's the spirit of what I'm presenting here. I'm going to talk about those kind of negotiable parts in a minute, but let me share with you what I've created to boil down what I feel like are the non-negotiables. I'd like to defend them to you. You're welcome to, further ask questions about these things, but I want to start with the non-negotiables and express myself there, and then give way and let you guys, have your say. So, non-negotiables would be the revisions, okay? The guided revisions, the one where you go in and you let me know like what you've been working on, and then you maybe access a learning resource and you say, this is what the learning resource says and this is how it impacted my work. Why is this a non-negotiable? First of all, writing process is a course learning outcome, and this is one of the spaces where I get evidence that we are doing a writing process, that we're not just showing up with pre-composed pieces and dumping them into a Canvas shell, but we're working on those pieces. Second of all, the 6 learning resources that I've made the bare minimum requirement for the course correlate with the 6 learning outcomes for the course. So English 101 can't just be about whatever we want it to be about. There is some structure, and those course outcomes, what we're aiming to learn and to grapple with, that's the structure. So in many ways, I see this personally as the most important piece of our learning, the most important artifact of our learning. It might sound a little strange because you'd think your compositions themselves matter, but they do also matter. Along with that, the bare minimum requirement is that you have to do 6 to pass the course. Those 6, like I said, correlate with the learning outcomes. Likewise, reviews. When you look at another person's work and you say, this is going really well, or I really like that part, or as a reader, that resonates with me, that really hooked me, that engaged me, you are grappling with those learning outcomes, but in an applied manner. And oftentimes you're more able to see those outcomes in the work of others than you are on your own, just because of all kinds of psychological barriers that are in place. So this to me reinforces this. I attempt to apply the learning outcomes to my own work. Oh, suddenly I get it when I apply it to someone else's work or see it in someone else's work, or vice versa. So these are paramount to me. Then, and also numbers matter to me in the reviews, because I feel like, how do I teach audience and purpose if the audience is small? So if you guys get more and more opportunities to get comments and feedback from each other, or make that, you're increasing the amount of examples that you're seeing, you're diversifying options and visions for what writing can be. And I think 6 is really a bare minimum for achieving that kind of goal. Now, compositions. Typically in a 101 course, traditionally at LCC, you would have seen 3 to 4 essays assigned, and each of them would be at least 1,000 words long. I've really kept the math the same, but giving you guys flexibility. So that's the negotiation in our scenario. You can say, I don't want to write a 1,000 word essay 3 times. I want to write a 2,500 word essay and a 700 word essay, or less, because to earn a C, you only need 2,000 words. So I think I've made a lot of reasonable adjustments there. And last is sources. This is one of the most important transferable skills from English 101, is to be able to do SIP format and write works cited entries. And since 101 serves as a prerequisite for so many other courses, and since plagiarism carries so many diverse consequences in other scenarios, I feel like an ethical responsibility to emphasize the teaching of this skill and just make sure that you're at least aiming for it, right? So this is what I consider, like I said, the non-negotiables, and I wanted to express why they are the non-negotiables. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any questions or comments about that? Now is the time to share those thoughts. So what is not on the list? The plan. How do I use the plan? I don't need to see it right away when it's due, but oftentimes I will go backwards and look at it. So if I'm reading your copy, I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Why do we switch? Then I can go back to the plan and see your guys' rationale for why you stuck, why you switched, what goals you have. So it's a helpful resource for me since I don't get to meet with you in person. Why does it exist there for you? Pre-writing. I was a student too, and I learned for myself that if deadlines were staggered, that I was less likely to try to do the whole final draft the night before the thing was due, and my writing was stronger, and I learned more. So that was my intention in designing that piece. I do not like getting to the end of the quarter, seeing a student who has done almost everything in the A category or B category, but then giving a C because of missing plans. So I'm doing this with the plans. I'm letting go of that grip. Hang there with me. Copy. I need the copy. It's only fair. If you're going to write to other people, share what you wrote so that they can give you feedback. Do I want to, again, get to the end of the quarter and be like, sorry, you don't get that grade because you didn't post your copy in the discussion board? Kind of, I want to do that. But it just, something about it feels off. And here's what I realized earlier today when I was processing this with some other students. I can tell you this. If you don't post your copy in the discussion board, the title, the image, the link, all that stuff, you're going to have a hard time revising because you're not getting input. But you're not going to get input from me because that's where I'm going to get it. So I don't need to grade it. I just need you to know that if you don't put it in there, you don't get my instruction, which is what you're paying for, is some input, some instruction, some engagement. So it's worth it for you to do it, but I would like to negotiate with you and say, okay, this doesn't need to be a part of your grade, a requirement to pass. And then the other thing would be the editorial meetings. I'm surprised this quarter by how many of you, by the fact that many of you haven't signed up. And I don't know what that is about, and the quarter is too short for me to really find out. If you want to share below, it would be great research for me to just have that information. But I started thinking about it and I thought, technically, this is important, but it can also go. It doesn't have to be a requirement to pass. So this is what I would like to propose. Everybody did the bios and pitches, by the way. That's why I'm not talking about those. Y'all did them. Good job. But this is what I would like to propose. These are the requirements for earning the letter grades for the course. I think these should stay the way they are. So go through the checklist, see where you're at, and let me know if you have a thought. The class will vote on this. I think that the editorial meetings, the plans, and the copies, as long as they are more than 50% complete, should do something for your grade, but should not be required. So here's what I thought. If you have everything on here to earn a B, and you completed more than 50% of the editorial meetings, you can get a B+. If in addition to that, you completed more than 50% of the pre-writing stuff, the copy and the plan, you can earn an A-. So it slides your grade up. Okay, so all that stuff not here will slide your grade up. Vice versa, let me just lay this out and I'll type it too. If you have, let's do another scenario. If you have everything on this to earn a C and you complete the plan and the copy, C+. If you complete more than 50% of the plans and copies and you also attend more than 50% of the editorial meetings, B-. See how that works? This is how you earn the letter grade. That other stuff creates a sliding scale. The last thing to say is that if you fill this out today, I have not assigned everything that is needed at this point to earn a C, but we're really close. By the end of session 2, the only thing that maybe would be holding you back from not earning a C at best is this last stuff here. And then you would just know like how much more you need to do in session 3 to earn a C, B, or an A. I'm trying to emphasize that you should be able to get to a point in this course very soon where you can say, I've done it. I've earned a C. I've guaranteed for myself that I can pass this course. And then it's just a matter of, do you want more? And what else is left to accomplish that? What I really love about that scenario is the possibility that you could truly let grade stress fall away and spend the rest of the quarter just learning and just focusing on personal growth. What do you want to get out of each other? What do you want to get out of yourself? What do you want to get out of me? What do you want to get out of these pieces, etc.? The resources, it's all available to you. It's all on the table. The other thing I want to say, though, and this will only pertain to a number of you, is that next Friday, so a week and a day from now, is the last day to withdraw from the course. So if you're looking at this and you're like, I'm borderline, I'm not on track yet or close to receiving a C, and I just know my life, I know me, I know the other classes I have, maybe it's job, family, something came up, I support you in withdrawing from the course if that is best for you, but only you can know. And I'm offering to you a meeting if that's the case. If you're like, that might be for me, but I'm not sure, just reach out and we can chat about it. I don't necessarily want you to withdraw. I also don't want anyone to fail this class. So my cards are on the table there. Part of the reason why I'm initiating these negotiations is that I want to do what I said at the start of the quarter, provide more opportunities for students to be successful and for you guys to have a voice in your learning. So I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to give it, I don't know, maybe until next Tuesday. That way I have time between the date and then the Friday. If at least 11 of you say, yep, we're good with that, then it will be decided. And in the space below, you might also add that you have some other idea for how things could be maneuvered. That will take a little time, so please post that quickly if you have a thought, if you want to initiate some further negotiation of some kind. And then, what else was I going to say? Oh, some students said, well, I don't think it needs to be required in order for it to be valuable. So if you want to make some comment about why something is valuable, then share that, because the group might see that and might benefit from just being encouraged in that way. Is there anything else I can do for you guys with this? Just in general, let me know. I'm experimenting and I'm trying new things, and they feel good and they feel exciting, positive. I feel like I get to be the supportive faculty member that I want to be. But my ears and my mind is open to any thoughts you have about how we can do this together to really ensure learning and success and growth. Okay. I remember. Session 1 things can be made up for during session 2, but not during session 3. So if you're like, oh, I didn't do enough reviews or revisions, well, do those as soon as possible. Because there's still time to get credit. If you fall behind with session 2, you can do a little bit of catch up in session 3. I am somewhat flexible, but my main concern is we need to know now how close we are to achieving our goals. And if anyone's at risk of not passing the course, we need to know that now so that we can be supportive and helpful and redirect, all that good stuff. Okay, this is an epically long video, and I deeply apologize for that. I'll talk to you guys soon.